Okay, what is up, everybody? It's Obscenity, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So, I noticed that there are like a lot of people, like, I've been playing a lot of Easter eggs recently in the zombies community, and there are a lot of people who still don't know how to set up the maps most effectively. So, I figured starting with BO3, going on to BO4, and then hopefully we'll be done with this by the time Cold War releases, I would do a map setup guide for every map, just showcasing generally the most efficient way of, like, if you're starting an Easter egg run or even if you just want to mess around, the most efficient way of setting up the map. Now, one of the things I'm also doing for this, I'm going to be playing all of these games locally, as you can see here. That's to remove any rewards that you may get as a result of as a result of like leveling up. You know, that is so that I start with the same 500 points, I start with the same half-empty Bloodhound that everybody else does, and here we're going to get started with our first beast mode. So, look at the quick revive panel. Shock it immediately, then jump up onto the car. Jump onto the staircase, shock that panel. Melee. Melee. Shock that. And then we're going to do a little bit of a glitch. Jump over here into the canal district. This is important for later, trust me. Melee those two, and if you can make it, just try to shock that. I didn't make it there. It's a very, very tight window. But now we're back in the main map, and we've got everything open in our first district, as you can see. Also, what I did there, charge a grenade to 3, wait like half a second, and then throw it. There's a note on the end of that shirt that'll pop up right here. Hold square on it to get your 500 points back for the door. This is the first important thing. When these two keepers spawn in, do not kill them. If you kill them now, you get 10 points for it. You get 10 points for the kill. If you save them and you do the first ritual with them, however, when they respawn, they'll respawn as zombies, which means you can shoot them in the leg 3 times and then knife them for a total of 160 points. This is actually going to be very important to setting up shadows effectively in a solo setting. In multiplayer, where you start with an extra 500 to 1500 points coming in the form of, you know, each player getting 500 points to start instead of just one player, you get a, you have a much easier time dividing up points so that you can open doors. One other important thing to note is, the time it takes to complete this ritual is calculated based on how many players are in the match. So if there are 4 people in the match, the ritual is going to go at that speed if you have 4 people in it, and it's going to go shorter the less people you have in it. So if you have 3 people in it, it's going to take longer. If you have 2 people in it, it's going to take even longer. And if you have a 4-person lobby with only 1 man in a ritual, it's going to take probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So, we are going to take our 1100 points and run over to Footlight District. Now this is important because I believe I saw a Fumigator back here. I forgot to pick up. There's a guarantee. I did not. We're going to go back to spawn. We want to get all the points that we can early game. And the reason that we want to get all the points we can early game, by the way, Fumigator spawns that crate, that wall, and back of the truck right here. We want to get as many points as we can early game because you can actually use all 3 beast modes on round 1 solo, and if you're playing with multiple people, you can probably get you can get round 1 pack-a-punch without any elixirs. So, as you saw right there, if you just run up to that staircase, you can actually shock it from the bottom. It saves you having to grapple up the top. And while the stairs are coming down, you just go melee the crate for the sword and melee the door to get underground. Come over here, grapple up. And nice easy time opening this entire district. If you mess up a little bit, don't worry. Like you saw, I had maybe 4 or 5 seconds left of beast mode there. You get that same amount of time. Just keep calm. Make sure you pick up your shield piece while you're up here. And of course, make sure that you run down here and open up this door. So now we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Fuck, it's 2 shots. Okay, it's 2 shots, guys. 2 shots and a knife. I don't think I need to kill to make up for that. $11.30. I already got these points? Okay. We need, yeah. So as you can see, it's not a perfectly tight strategy. Like, we messed up a little bit there. We sacrificed a couple of melee points, and we're still fine. That's going to be optimal. That's going to be the best way that you can, like, that's going to be the best place to be, probably. And it is more important, we can take one shot at each of those keepers on the double points, just for a couple extra points, but it is more important that you save the keepers and the health on the zombies than that you get points off of them on a double points. So make sure you save last, and make sure you do, you know, sort of all of that stuff. So, now we start this ritual. This ritual is probably the easiest in the game, and people overcomplicate it. So what you're going to want to do is just stand down here, group up the keepers, and then if you hop up onto the stage, they all follow you up, and then you jump back down during their animation to get up on the stage, and they'll all just keep going on and off the stage indefinitely. Now, this ritual ends, there's going to be a Margwa here. We want to not kill the pests that this Margwa drops, however, it takes 5 shots to the head from the Bloodhound. So you need to be fairly accurate here. And if you don't get a head first try, that's okay, because the health stays. Like, the fact that you've damaged the head stays. So as you can see, we ended with 1 zombie, now we've got more. And that was the 5th shot on that first head, so we've now angered this guy. I don't think we have enough to, Oh, hey, what do you know? Exactly as many shots as we need. Like I said, leave the pests alone, so that insta-kill doesn't really matter. The pests have a chance to respawn as zombies when you despawn them with the train. So, we're going to be using the train to move through the districts here because it's significantly cheaper that way. We're just going to wait for the train to get over here. Hit Gobblegum in the meantime, just, you know, for some fun. And the train is very important. The train is going to let us gather our sword symbols. So, we get on the train, go to Waterfront next, and then look out the bootlegger window. Just stare out it. Okay, so this is an example of a symbol. There are 3 of them for the sword. You can look up a guide for it, but I'll explain to you how I keep track of the sword symbols. Here, it's pretty easy. Basically, there can be a maximum of 3 rows in a symbol, right? So there could be 1 more arrow below those 2 in theory. There's not, though. So the way you do it is look at the number of arrows in the first row. There's 1 arrow, so the first number is 1. There are 2 arrows in the second row, so the second number is 2. And because there's no third row, you don't have a third number. So this symbol is 1, 2, meaning there's 1 arrow in the first row, 2 arrows in the second row. Alright. This symbol is the one anomaly. It rarely comes up, but this is the only symbol that doesn't have rows. But I call that flower, because it kind of looks like a flower. So you've got the flower, and you've got 1, 2. And you're going to need to remember those for a little bit, so, you know, keep an eye on them. For Waterfront District, the best start we can get is going to be to buy this door from the inside. And to just come up here to the upper beast station. When you spawn in, run up to the bottom of the staircase, and you can shock it without going up. Come around the corner, melee the door, and if you just jump, that becomes active. So you don't need to grapple from the other side and then come over. You can just grapple. You can just jump and grapple straight up. All you have to do is jump in against that back wall. Run down, melee the boxing gym open, and return to human. And since we're right up here anyways, the shield piece can spawn right there. It can spawn against this wall. And it can can spawn against this crate. Again, make sure you grab your 100 points from the perk. Funny number of points right now. We're going to be there for a while, too. So, there's a fumigator spawn. Just keep an eye out for fumigators while you're running around the map. If you have 4 people, they're pretty easy to find. Don't open the pods until they're purple, though. Again, pick up the belt. And just take these 4 keepers up, or take these 2 keepers up top with you. I'm sorry. There are 4 keepers that spawn in when you go underground for the first time. So if you want to make it easier on yourself, you can take those keepers in Footlight and take the extra minute to drag them over, which will allow you to get more points. So you won't be running so tight on points. But, oh yeah, you can also use them as a backup strategy. But now we're in here, and this is the hardest of the rituals. So doing this one on round 1 is really good, because it means that if worst comes to worst, you can just knife whatever's in front of you. I don't really have a recommended route for this one. Just my general advice is to not do what I just did. To try to keep all of the keepers on the same side of the boxing ring at the same time. We got a lucky max ammo there. Yeah. I'm actually not gonna take it. We're gonna leave that max ammo go. So remember, we had 1 zombie left when we started Footlight. We spawned 2 more we spawned 2 more inside the Footlight ritual, and then we spawned 2 more inside this ritual, which means we have 5 zombies. So we just knifed 4, so we should be down to last zombie. Unless one of the pests turned into a zombie, in which case we have a couple of extras. But now we're gonna go over to Canals for 500 points again. And we're going to look out the same window. So we see our flower again first. We're going to see a second symbol in a minute here. Or actually, this is our 3rd symbol, but our 2nd symbol on this train ride. So that's just 2, because there are 2 arrows on 1 row and nothing else. So that symbol is just 2. Then we've got 1, 2, and we've got flower. Those are our 3 sword symbols. So let's drop down here. Yeah, we did get, as you can see, we got at least 1 pest spawn. The pests don't always respawn as zombies, but because you get 70 for killing a pest, and we actually have a 3rd. Yeah, so, like, we can make a lot of zombies here on round 1. Like, we've killed 14 zombies on round 1. There you go. So the goal there, number 1, we need to end the round for another beast mode, of course, but we do need to open that door as well. So the next thing we're going to do... Oh, wait. Almost forgot. This is very important. Run down here. Open the rift portal. So remember, we already smashed the crate in the corner, right? What we're going to do now is just line ourselves up so we can see the spark box, go into beast mode, and there you go. You can hit it through the wall just like that. So now we've got everything in Canal open except the staircase, which we're going to ignore for now because we can go in here and do these symbols. To make sure that we have our sword open on round 2. This is the earliest possible time you can have the sword open. And by the way, just as a backup, if you fail to open the rift gate with your first beast mode, you can't do this anymore. So when you finish doing this section of the district, instead just run over here, grapple up. There's a perk right there and a staircase around the corner that you can hit with the rest of your beast mode. Anyhow. What we're going to do now yeah, run underground and pick up your sword egg. We need to take care of... We need a couple of points because the goal is going to be to buy the Kuda before we spawn in the next Margwa. So we need a couple of points, but also these zombies can help fill up our egg. So if we just come right up here, put them right there. And of course we're going to have the keepers behind us too, so we need to kind of like... This is going to be a little bit of a rough part. If you want to just kill those keepers... Or they can kill themselves. They weren't supposed to just despawn right there. I don't know why that happened, but it did. We're going to go with it. So you are not... So this guide is not going to include the zombies that can spawn from those 4 keepers. However, just know that they can. Also, of course, if you have an RK5, you can use that to mess up the Margwa because it does one-shot the heads. So we're just waiting for zombies to filter in here. There are probably a couple that spawned up top that are going to take quite a while to get down. But we do basically need to get to 1250 before we can go do the next. So the next ritual and opening Pack-a-Punch are both going to spawn Margwas. Which is why we need to be careful of them. In this game, zombies don't make a lot of noise, so... Okay, yeah, we do have multiple zombies left. 1, 2, 3. Each of them are going to give us 140 points because we get 10 and then we get 130 for the actual kill. And of course, if you've got bullets, you're going to want to shoot them in the leg 3 or 4 times first on round 2 and then kill them. Just to up the overall efficiency. Is this guy our last? Okay. I believe he's our last, so now pick up the badge. And like I said, there is enough points to make all of this happen. Like, you will have enough points to make all of this happen. Sometimes it's just a little bit odd. Like, it's a little bit awkward. In solo, it can be really awkward. But keep in mind, in 4-player, you start with an extra 1,500 points. You start with an extra 500 points per player. We're going to wait for that keeper to catch up a little bit here. The zombie itself doesn't really matter. Ignore it. We don't want to end the round. Because, again, before you start round 3, you want to make sure that everybody has their... everybody's in the right spot to be working on their eggs. This room is pretty simple with 1 player. It's a little bit harder with 4 players. So all we're going to do in 1 player in this room is just kind of find a way to, we're going to loop behind this couch and keep an eye up top. If you see a keeper about to drop down, just cut outside. But aside from that, we're going to be looping around this couch, and then around this couch, and then back out the other side. So Ritual gave us 500 points. We pick up our last Gateworm and ignore the Margwa. Now, you do have a choice here. You can either kill this Margwa now, which is what I'm going to do, or if you're a little bit more scared of them still, you can actually leave this Margwa. So if you leave this one alive, then when you complete the Pack-a-Punch ritual, another one won't spawn. Like, you won't have 2 Margwas, it'll just be this one. So again, but you lose out on 1,500 points by not killing this guy. So, like, my personal opinion is that you should kill him. I will take that max ammo only because I picked up the Kuda and I was only missing, like, a clip in it. So that max ammo won't significantly change anything. Come underground. We already went prone there. If you walk up to this wall when you have all 4 Gateworms and the summoning key, it'll poof away and you'll be in Gateworm first wall, Gateworm second wall. Then come across Gateworm the bridge. And you can start the ritual. So if we had a couple more points, like if we got a double points earlier on in round 1 and could actually get some kills on it, what we would have been able to change about this run is we wouldn't have had to kill zombies to be able to afford the Kuda to kill that Margwa. We would instead have been able to just buy the Kuda outright and then not come in here and kill those four keepers in here as part of this ritual to ensure that we have the maximum number of zombies spawning that's possible. That being said, we do now have 3 zombies, and this Margwa spawns... There you go. This Margwa usually doesn't spawn until you step out of the room. If you wait long enough, I know it does, and if you're in I'm pretty sure that's just in case you're in multiplayer and somebody's just camping the Pack-a-Punch machine. That you don't get like a random Margwa 3 rounds later, but again, just aim for the head. They're pretty easy to take out. And since we've got 4,000 points to spare, we're going to buy Widow's Wine. Now, one of the things that most people don't know about this perk, it actually makes your melee a one-shot until round 5. Which is important because meleeing zombies is going to get you more points this early on in the game than anything else will. So, now it's just a waiting game. Oh, I should also mention one other thing that's important to this, to knowing how this game works. When you whether or not a zombie will drop something is decided when it respawns. So if you despawn and respawn a zombie that wouldn't have dropped a power-up, it has a chance to drop one again. What that means is that any zombies that are respawned by rituals ending will either drop a power-up or reset their chance to drop a power-up. So if you've seen what seems like a strange number of power-ups in the first 2 rounds of this game, outside of the Margwa kills, it's because of how much we've been respawning zombies. And you can actually use the rituals on this map to kind of mess with the RNG. And if you train up all the zombies in the ritual room as well, you're basically guaranteed power-ups. You're almost guaranteed around 1 and around 2 double points, like you saw me get this game. So, these next kills should hopefully finish up our first egg, and then in between rounds, we're going to be running for the next one. It is important to this that you know how to travel using the underground, because like you see right now, we don't have enough points to open up, to open everything up. So, what we're going to do now is there are a couple of things that aren't open yet. The first, of course, is the last shield piece. So just come up here, turn on the perk. And if you run underground, you'll recall that all of Footlight is open, but all of Waterfront is not. So if we come through the Waterfront portal, we might just be able to open up some of Waterfront here. Now, the highest priority is going to be that crate in the back, so go for that one first, because that's going to be the second place you go for your egg. The reason for that is the first one we took here because we needed points and the zombies were here. The second one we want to get the slowest one out of the way, and Waterfront has the least spawns for zombies. So, there you go, first egg is done. It's important if you pick up Widow's Wine this early that you throw away your grenades because they will kill zombies. Now, actually, since we're done here, we're going to take a minute. Just ignore the zombies for now. Shield piece right there. Shield piece on the bridge. and shield piece right there. Always build shield in canals, because the canals table is open enough that if you have a group of zombies behind you, you can run them in a circle and still pick up the shield. Which makes it much easier, which means like it's much more accessible. We are, of course, building shield here for our own safety, because I chose to buy Widow's Wine instead of Juggernog, which is technically a risky play. Another thing you'll note is that to present, I don't have Quick Revive, which in solo games is always a risk. You can choose to take it or not take it, although the Footlight portal is over there, and Footlight leads you back to spawn. So if you finish all of this and you want Quick Revive, just go ahead, run through the Footlight portal real quick, and maybe even do the Footlight egg second, and just make sure you get back to spawn. So now, place the egg down in here, and I believe the only things that we have left to open are Stamina, the door from spawn to Pack-a-Punch, and I think Mule Kick, in addition to this perk, of course. So we're going to try to get all of those next round. I don't think we're going to be able to, but in the meantime, just save up your points. Buy perks, buy Pack-a-Punch if you can, but do not spend points on doors. We don't need doors this early on. We don't really want doors this early on. The reason we don't want doors is because keeping doors closed limits the number of places that zombies can spawn around you. By the way, they need to be inside of this room before you can kill them for this egg. So it's really annoying, but it happens. And of course, if you have elixirs you want, like if you want in plain sight or something, you can roll for it. I've just been kind of, I still have the default Gobblegum pack, and sorry if I say elixirs, I play BO4 more than this game, honestly. Really? That's also a thing that can happen. You just melee a zombie and it drops a nuke and your whole day is ruined. So we lost a considerable number of zombies there. If you recall, the door to spawn is not open in Waterfront yet. So again, we go back underground. And so all of Footlight is open, all of Waterfront is open, all of Canal is open, and with Stamina up, all of Spawn is open. Our egg is open, so we are done with Beast Mode for this game. You can use Beast Mode if you're stuck in a corner near a Beast Portal to get out of trouble. You can use Beast Mode to revive somebody else faster. But we don't actually need it for anything else. Arm's Grace is going to be totally useless in single player. And now it's up to you. You can either go to Footlight or stay here underground. I'm staying underground literally because it's closer. But aside from that, we're just going to keep filling up the sword, and then we'll show the sword upgrade is actually pretty easy. The sword upgrade is literally just a matter of making sure that you do your ritual in the round. Okay, so the good thing is if you get a nuke early on in a round, not everybody knows this, but the zombies don't actually spawn at the beginning of the round. Like, they don't all spawn at the same time. They spawn kind of staggered. So, like, I got a nuke at the beginning of the round there, and it probably only killed 1 or 2 zombies. You can actually tell how many it killed to an extent by just sort of counting. It'll take about, early game, it'll take about a second or 2 per zombie that it killed. So if you just count like 1, 2, and then you get the points, then it only killed 2 zombies, which is good. Because 400 points is more than you would get by default from 2 zombies, and that's a good way to think about picking up nukes. If you're in 4-player, so everybody gets 400 points, which means you get a total of 1,600 extra points for the team. if there's only one zombie left, it's absolutely worth taking that nuke then, because one person would have gotten 130 points, or alternatively, the team gets a total of 600 points. There we go. One other thing that is probably nice to explain is the guy that spawns right there, the mystery box, that's your worst enemy. Early on in this game, just don't even think about mystery box. Don't look at it, don't touch it, don't smell it, don't hit it. All of the wall weapons on this map are perfectly capable of killing. And, like, even the RK5, like, if I was, online right now, where I have, you know, my RK5 unlocked in the secret Easter egg gun, I wouldn't have bought a Kuda. Because the RK5 still works. Alright. Our egg is now complete. It's only round 5. And since we have 6,500 points, we are going to make the next step a little bit easier. So normally I would say Pack-a-Punch the Kuda and save for Juggernog, right? We're not going to do that this time, though. What we're actually going to do is come up here, buy the KRM off the wall. Now, the KRM, for those who don't know, is very strong against mini-bosses. Actually, shotguns in this game in general are very strong against the mini-bosses, because their spread shot allows you to do a lot of damage to the head at once. We're going to combine that with another interesting thing, another interesting fact about this game in a second here, to show you that you can potentially one-shot Margwas in this game. Well, I guess it's not truly a one-shot, but, like, you can kill Margwas before they move. So our egg is full. So we come back over here, hold square again to pick up the sword. Now, because I'm Floyd, I'm going to go to the boxing gym to begin my sword upgrade. If you are, depending on your character, you go to different locations. Nero goes to the apartment, Jackie goes to Canals. I guess it's a detective's agency over there, I don't know. And our lovely lady goes to, Footlight. So, when a Margwa does the roar when a Margwa does that spawn-in roar, it actually has all 3 of its heads open for like maybe 5 seconds, right? During those 5 seconds, all 3 of its heads therefore are vulnerable. If you have a gun that does enough damage, yeah, we're gonna pick up the nuke here. 1, yeah, see, that only killed 1, maybe 2 zombies. So that 400 points is enough to buy Jug. So what you saw there was there's a red circle out in front, and there's a red circle like that in each district. A red circle exactly like this one. You need to go hold square in each of those circles once you've picked up your sword upgrade egg to do the upgrade process, and you can only do 1 of them around. So that's why you saw me. Juggernog is in Canal, so we're gonna do Canal next. So the reason that you saw me kill all the zombies after I killed that Margwa is because once that Margwa's dead, I can't do another circle until a new round starts, so best thing you can do is just run it now. You can try to ignore the green things. Interestingly, normal grenades are really good at taking them out. If you just cook a grenade and then throw it up into the air, it'll take a lot of them out. But they do a sizable amount of damage when you have a bunch of them shooting at you, so that's the only reason I buy Juggernog before doing this ritual. The first one spawns 1 Margwa, all of the others spawn 2, so you need to be a little bit more careful. Alright, we only got 2 heads off of that guy. And as you can see, we got slammed right there, which does cause some problems. Now, I generally recommend actually taking out one head on both of the Margwas at the beginning, only because if they're running at the same speed, they always open their heads at the same time. So you can shoot one while it's stunned, the other one will walk in front of it, and then you just shoot that one and you're good to go. Okay, I need these guys to stop. There we go. A little bit sloppy there, my apologies, but now we just take down these guys. And you can do whatever you want to take these guys out, they don't really matter. They do drop a max ammo when you kill them. And if you're playing solo, ideally you get the pests on round 6 like we did. They can either spawn on round 5 or round 6 though. So in multiplayer, the reason you want them on round 5 is because you're not going to be done with your sword on round 6. If you have 4 players sharing the kills, right? You're just not going to be done that fast. So you want them on round 5 because round 6 spawns more zombies, which gives you more egg progress. But in solo, you always want them on round 6. That... I so deserve that. I so deserve that, video gaming. You know it, too. Where's the second one? It's also a good idea to look for your second Margwa, always, because like you saw in canals, it can spawn right behind you. So like you saw, that guy had his head open, and then when the second Margwa hit the same position as the first one, its head was open too, which made it a nice, easy kill. Oh, please. Alright. And you can get whatever perks you want from here on out. The only reason I include Jug and Widow's Wine is because they are... I mean, honestly, I think Widow's Wine is the strongest perk you've ever seen in this game. Like, even in BO4. Like, I would say Widow's Wine is stronger than Dying Wish. But... So now you can see we've got almost 8,000 points, right? Actually, we do have 8,000 points, and it's only round 7. So, finishing off the perks, I usually like to go Stamina Up Speed Cola. You can go... Actually, you know what? Since this is a setup guide, I have a feeling the game is going to troll me. So instead of Speed Cola here, I'm actually going to grab Quick Revive. I also recommend Quick Revive if you're playing with people who go down a lot, but that's just kind of how the perk works. Then we can kill off that guy. And again, there's one circle in each district. So you've now seen 3 of them. Our last one is going to be right over here in Footlight. Come with me. Like I said earlier, once it hits the same spot, insta-kill works for me. Its head opens. It's like magic. Okay. Also, that guy had a little bit of strange pathing there, so don't expect them to do that every time, but it is a good idea to look out for it. We are now going to go back to our respective district. So that would be Waterfront. And we're gonna go back to the exact same place that we picked up our sword upgrade item. Just drop it right back down. All of the sword upgrade items are going to be on the altar rituals that you use to open Pack-a-Punch. Except the Reborn Sword. Now we have our sword fully upgraded. And it's round 8. We have enough to Pack-a-Punch both of our guns. So you can choose to keep the Kuda if you want. Personally, I'm going HVK. The assault rifles in this game are just a little bit more dependable, I think. And so I definitely want to keep an AR by my side as my, like, general killing weapon. The next thing we're going to do is optional. It's a little bit of a rush to get the Wonder Weapon. So the Wonder Weapon on this map is the Apothicon Servant. It's a really, really strong it's a really, really strong Wonder Weapon. It's really, really fun to use. It has limited ammo, though, so you can't just go around spamming it. But now that we've got 2 upgraded guns, we've got 4 perks, we've got, you know, basically everything we need. There are 2 pieces we're missing for the Apothicon Servant, as you can see. One of them looks like a grapevine, and one of them looks like a tentacle. The tentacle is going to come from the pods that I told you about earlier that we need the Fumigator to open. Right now, we can see that they're red, but in a round, maybe 2 rounds, all those red ones should be purple, and the purple ones can drop that upgrade piece. Now, the grapevine-looking one can only come, it's like ectoplasm, I guess. It can only come from the meatballs and the pests. So we need a way to spawn a lot of those. If you come up to this book, which only appears once everybody has their swords upgraded and holds square, you're technically starting the Easter egg, but that's okay. You hold square on the book and a flag will spawn underground. By the way, this is why I got stamina up. There's just a lot of running on this map. And conveniently, when you pick up this flag right here, it starts an infinite meatball round. So you get meatballs non-stop. So what you can do is just kind of run around with this flag, kill everything. Also, you do see a purple pod over there. We're not going to worry about that right now. So just keep the flag with you until you either run out of ammo or see the Xenomatter. That's, by the way, the actual name the game gave the part. It's gonna appear as a giant, like, it looks kind of like snot. It's the same color as, like, snot in cartoons. And again, with this KRM, you can very easily one-shot them. As long as you hit them, of course. So we're just gonna sit here and farm out these guys for a little bit. So that's our tentacle. That's what that looks like. Just hold square on it to pick it up once you get it out of the pod. Also, the white glow on my screen is very annoying, I know. It's from the flag. So, by the way, also what I'm showing you here is a very good argument. If you like this map, if you say you like it, and somebody else says that they think there's too much RNG involved in it, you can show them fairly easily that, sure, there's RNG, but there are ways of taking advantage of it. Like, the game has included mechanisms to allow you to succeed even though there is RNG. And like you can see, we're even getting, you know, pretty bad luck, I would say, on on this Xenomatter. And since we're only making 10 points per kill during this lockdown, we're not going to be able to afford more ammo. Just straight up. If you get a max ammo behind the door and spawn, now is a good time to use it. If you need it, of course. If not, save it for later. But when you're done with this step, when you're ready to move on, just hold square to put down the flag and let them break it. Alternatively, you can actually put down the flag and then try to defend it. And then when you pick it up, it'll give you a max ammo, so that you can keep going. Again, make sure you watch the pests carefully, because the Xenomatter can drop from them, and if it does drop from them, it'll just drop wherever their corpse lands. Hit double tap triangle quickly to cancel a reload, by the way. We're also racking up kills here. So yeah, as you can see, your kills go up every time you shoot one of these things, which does mean that you're getting XP for them. So this is maybe even a decent XP farm if you want to get through the early levels just a little bit faster. Oh my gosh. Also, I should mention, it doesn't normally take this long to get this thing to drop. Just like I said earlier, I figured that because I'm trying to, you know, record a guide here, the game is going to screw me over somehow. So, what I might actually do is... Please, game. No. What I might actually do is just fail the flag, because within the next 2 rounds, we were going to get a round of... We were going to get a round of meatballs that spawn in naturally anyways. By the way, I don't know what these are actually called. I've just been calling them meatballs for the entire time I've been playing this map, and I think a lot of other people have as well. So, like, they're meatballs, right? Anyhow, if you leave this door closed, all of the meatballs come from this side, so it's a lot easier to defend this thing. That being said, I think we want to fail here. Yeah, that's what happens when you fail. The meatballs run into the flag and the flag breaks, and then you've just failed the step, and the zombies start coming again. But, I mean, even if you don't have the wonder weapon yet, we've got 2/3 of the parts for it, and we've got 2 upgraded weapons, 4 perks, and the maxed out sword on round 8. So the setup for this map is pretty nice, even if the RNG is a little bit bad sometimes. Another max ammo is nice. Also, some people say the Xenomatter doesn't drop until around 11 or 12. That is not true. You can get it early. It's just a matter of the game not being as cruel to you as it was to me there. Hey, buddy. Alright, no Xenomatter, but we did get a max. So we're gonna pick up the flag again and kill a couple more. By the way, you don't have to wait around for this flag to respawn. If you fail, you can just go pick it up, like, right away again. Another option you have is to leave the completed flag there. You can actually use the flag. The flag will attract the meatballs. So, like, you can actually put down the flag so that the meatballs will focus it instead of you if you need to regen health. It's not a perfect system, but it can save you in a pinch. So I would camp one of the lightning bolts if I were you, just to ensure that you have, you know, the greatest overall chance of survival. Another interesting fact is that you can actually use this as a max ammo farm. Oh, god damn it. So that time you heard we finished the flag, but it broke before we could pick it up. So I'm going to call this guide here. You now know everything you need to about setting up this map. And, you know, your points are yours. You can open doors, do whatever you want with them at this point, and you should be ready to have a good game. So, again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one.